This is Ggn News Focus. This segment focuses on stories about Gwangju and Jeonnam that are useful to know in your daily life.
Ggn 뉴스 포커스에서는 일상생활에서 알아두면 좋은 지역 뉴스에 대해 알려드립니다.
Gwangju City secures 3.39 trillion won in national funding for 2025.
광주시가 2025년 국비에 3조 3,858억 원을 확보했습니다.
Despite an overall reduction in the 2025 national budget, Gwangju's allocation increased by 141.2 billion won, or 4.4% from the previous year, to a total of 3.39 trillion won. Key projects included in the budget are the expansion of the Hanam Expressway and the construction of the Gwangju-Gangjin Expressway. Additionally, the city secured 23.2 billion won through 19 competitive project bids. However, major future growth initiatives such as the second phase of the AI project, the establishment of the Gwangju AI Talent High School, and the automotive parts remanufacturing project were excluded from the government budget, raising concerns about potential setbacks. Notably, the requested 95.7 billion won for the second phase of the AI project was not approved, which may delay its progress. In response, the city plans to continue discussions with the National Assembly and relevant ministries to ensure the necessary funding is included in a supplementary budget, in line with the global trend of investment in artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, South Jeolla Province secured 9.05 trillion won. However, the reduced national budget prevented the inclusion of increased funding requests for key SOC projects, such as the Hanam High-Speed Railway.
2025년도 정부 예산이 감액된 가운데 광주시 예산은 3조 3,858억 원으로 전년보다 4.4%, 1,412억 원 증가했습니다. 주요 반영 항목으로 호남고속도로 확장과 광주강진 고속도로 건설 등이 있으며 공모사업 19건에서 232억 원을 추가로 확보했습니다. 그러나 광주시가 추진 중인 인공지능 2단계 사업과 광주 AI 영재고 설립, 자동차 부품 재제조 사업 등 주요 미래 성장 동력 사업은 정부 예산에 반영되지 않아 차질이 우려됩니다. 특히 인공지능 2단계 사업은 내년 요청 예산 957억 원이 반영되지 않아 사업 진행이 지연될 가능성이 있습니다. 광주시는 세계적 인공지능 투자 흐름에 맞춰 예산이 추경에서 반영될 수 있도록 국회와 주무부처와의 협의를 이어갈 계획입니다. 한편 전남도는 내년도 국비 예산 9조 502억 원을 확보했으나 정부 예산이 감액되면서 호남고속철도 등 사회 간접자본 사업의 증액 요구는 반영되지 않았습니다.
Relocation discussions for Gwangju Military Airport indefinitely postponed due to martial law aftermath.
광주 군공항 이전에 대한 논의가 비상계엄 여파로 무기한 연기됐습니다.
The aftermath of the martial law incident has led to the indefinite postponement of a government task force meeting to discuss the relocation of the integrated civilian military airport in Gwangju and South Jeolla. The Prime Minister's office informed Gwangju City that the meeting originally scheduled for December 13 would be postponed due to the inability of key agencies to participate. The meeting, which would have been the first in 3.5 years since May 2021, was expected to bring progress to the stalled airport relocation discussions. While Gwangju City and South Jeolla Province had already coordinated the agenda and schedule through prior working-level meetings with the Ministry of National Defense, the martial law incident has cast uncertainty over the task force discussions. Nevertheless, working-level officials from the Ministry of National Defense, Gwangju City, and South Jeolla Province have agreed to meet monthly to continue discussions. They plan to develop relevant agendas and present them at future government task force meetings. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party's task force for Gwangju Jeonnam Cooperative Development has also paused discussions on the airport relocation as it focuses on legislative efforts for presidential impeachment.
최근 비상계엄 사태의 여파로 광주 전남 민간군 통합공항 이전 논의를 위한 범정부 협의체 회의가 무기한 연기됐습니다. 총리실은 비상계엄으로 인해 협의체 참여 기관들이 논의에 참석할 수 없게 되면서 당초 13일 예정이었던 회의를 잠정 연기한다고 광주시에 통보했습니다. 이번 협의체 회의는 2021년 5월 이후 3년 6개월 만에 재개될 예정이었으며 공항 이전 논의가 답보 상태에서 진전을 이룰 것으로 기대되던 상황이었습니다. 광주시와 전남도는 국방부와 사전 실무 회의를 통해 일정과 안건 조율까지 마쳤으나 계엄 사태로 협의체 논의가 불투명해졌습니다. 그럼에도 국방부와 광주시 전남도 실무진은 한 달에 한 번씩 만나 논의를 이어가기로 합의했으며 공항 이전 관련 안건을 마련해 추후 정부 협의체 논의에 제시할 계획입니다. 한편 더불어민주당의 광주 전남 상생발전 TF 구성 논의 역시 대통령 탄핵 입법 활동으로 중단된 상태입니다.
Single-person households in Gwangju and South Jeolla expected to surpass 42% in 30 years.
30년 뒤 광주 전남의 1인 가구 비율이 42%를 돌파할 전망입니다.
In 30 years, the proportion of single-person households in Gwangju is projected to reach 42.5%, while South Jeolla's will rise to 42.8%. According to data released by Statistics Korea, the total number of households in Gwangju is expected to decrease to 615,000 by 2052, down 6,000 from 2022. However, the proportion of single-person households in Gwangju is projected to increase by 7.3 percentage points, from 35.2% in 2022 to 42.5% in 2052. In South Jeolla, the total number of households is forecasted to grow to 807,000 by 2052, up 25,000 compared to 2022. Meanwhile, single-person households are expected to account for 345,000 of that total, marking a 7 percentage point increase from 280,000 in 2022.
30년 뒤 광주 1인 가구 비중은 42.5%, 전남은 42.8%에 이를 것으로 추산됩니다. 12일 통계청이 발표한 자료에 따르면 오는 2052년 광주 전체 가구 수는 61만 5천 가구로 2022년 대비 6천 가구 줄 것으로 나타났습니다. 반면 1인 가구 비중은 42.5%로 2022년 35.2%에 비해 7.3%포인트 증가할 것으로 추산됐습니다. 전남의 2052년 전체 가구 수는 80만 7천 가구로 2022년 대비 2만 5천 가구 늘 것으로 나타났고 1인 가구 비중은 34만 5천 가구로 2022년 28만 가구 대비 7%포인트 높아질 것으로 전망됩니다.
I hope you enjoyed Ggn News Focus. Coming right up, Gwangju.
오매광주. Good afternoon, culture lovers.
And welcome to 오매광주.
We are your hosts, Dave
and Lindsay.
Welcome to another edition of our show. It's Friday, December 13th.
저는 Lindsay.
저는 Dave입니다.
안녕하세요. Dave.
Lindsay.
It's Friday the 13th.
Uh-oh.
Any words of warning for our listeners?
I'm certainly feeling the pressure today, Lindsay, to be perfect. I can see some mistakes coming in my future.
Let's
It's
say,
a dangerous day.
don't walk on any cracks.
Yeah.
Don't walk under any ladders. Anything else we should avoid?
Something which I have never adjusted to here in Korea, Lindsay. Don't open an umbrella indoors. It's bad luck.
그래요. All right, all of you out there, be careful today. It's an unlucky day, but you know what? I'm sure we have lots of lucky things in store. more on the show. Right, Dave?
Of course we do, Lindsay. We're always trying to bring you guys luck and happiness through our charm Monday to Friday from 12 until 2 p.m. And today we'll start it all off once again with Ride the K-Wave about everything related to Korean culture.
And after that, we'll be diving into some of the latest cultural trends and exploring some of the hottest spots in and around Gwangju.
And listeners, we'd love to invite you to join us. 그래서 혹시 방송 중에 저희와 공유하고 싶은 사연이나 신청곡 있으시면 언제든 문자 주시고요.
That's right. Send us your song requests and anything else you'd like into sharp 9870.
샵 9870으로 문자 많이 보내주세요.
Of course, you are tuned in to Ggn, which means you're listening at 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in Yeosu.
그럼 지금부터 오매광주와 함께 신나는 문화 여행을 떠나보겠습니다.
Let's go!
린지,
Yes?
우리 오늘의 첫 번째 곡은 뭘까요?
Maybe we'll see this phenomenon a little bit later today. If you get rain and the sun is shining, we say this in Korea, 여유가 시작하는 날 by Epics.
Welcome back to 오매광주.
Get ready to ride the K-Wave. We'll be taking you on a journey through Korea's must-see, must-go, must-eat destinations every Friday.
Oh, it's always an exciting journey we take to start our weekend. Think of some places to go. However, I noticed just then, Lindsay, you finished with places that you must eat.
Okay, so grammatically didn't really make a lot of sense. You shouldn't
That
be...
wasn't what I was pointing out, per se, but now that I mention it.
Yeah, eating locations. Please don't do that.
But we got a food-related topic for today.
We do. You know, this time of year, Dave, I know for Westerners, we've only got one thing on the mind, and that is...
Christmas.
맞아요. But there's another red-themed event here in Korea that a lot of Koreans will have just finished or maybe are planning to even do this weekend. Can you guess what it is?
혹시 짐장인가요?
아, 맞습니다.
김장.
짐장이요. 김장입니다. That's right. Here in Jeollado, as far as I know, a lot of people tend to do it the first weekend of December is the traditional time. But
Why is that?
That's the time where it gets like cold enough. It's all about when the harvest comes in.
Of the cabbages.
Because you're trying to get the cheapest possible cabbage. Really?
Hey, you got to be economical.
You know, this year they were called 금배추, right? They were so
그렇죠.
expensive. So you kind of have to hit the peak time. And also, traditionally, it was when you had to put them in the ground. So you wanted a cold ground, but not too hard because you'd have to put the hangari. Exactly.
Well, this year has been, I guess, like unseasonably warm. So are we seeing like a later Gimjang season this time around?
Well, in fact, and not to kind of throw her under the bus, but our very own HPD producer is doing Gimjang this weekend, which is quite late in the
Why
year
is that
for
thrown
it.
under the bus?
Well, you know, like maybe she's a little late to the Gimjang party.
Actually,
but
I'm planning to do Gimjang this weekend too.
Are you too?
Yeah.
So maybe we're seeing a seasonal shift
Yeah.
as the winters get less cold.
I wish that I had any logical reason. It's just because I'm lazy, except for that. Did you do Gimjang last weekend?
I did not.
Oh,
I did not.
okay.
Our shidek does not do Gimjang, which is getting more common these days. A lot of
see.
houses
I'll just
are.
buy it online.
Yeah, you can just or usually in one family there's like one house that's really famous for Gimjang, so we just ask them.
So I guess that means next week we can ask our HPD to give us some Gimjang kimchi.
Yes, 이게 정이요.
그러니까 주시겠죠?
딱 아주 좋은 아이디어예요.
감사합니다.
네. Well, with kimchi on the mind, it is a perfect time to explore all of the many, many, many types of kimchi across the country.
I love the seasonal varieties. I love the regional varieties too, Lindsay. Of course, here in Jeollado, we're blessed with being the bread basket of Korea.
The kimchi basket,
the
if you will.
kimchi tong of Korea, if you will. I like it. But across the country too, there are also different varieties of kimchi. And I know you and I have both done a little bit of research, tried to present some different kinds of kimchi today.
Yeah, well, what better 여행 than a kimchi 여행? If you don't
kimchi 여행.
Kimchi 여행. If you don't have any plans this weekend, maybe you're planning to travel somewhere else, we're going to give you some good tips on what kimchi to enjoy. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good indeed. Hopefully you guys could also get involved and tell us your favorite kind of kimchi via text, sharp 9870, sharp 9870.
That's right. Or you can send us a live text. If you hop over to YouTube right now and search Gwangju you can check out me and Dave, our shining faces. I think I just said you were me and Dave. You won't get that joke, though, unless you're watching us on YouTube. That's right. You can see us. You can also leave comments in the chat for us. We want to know what your favorite type of kimchi is and whether or not you finished Gimjang this year.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. So do send in your text. But yeah, we're starting with, I guess, the pretty obvious kimchi. Going up to Seoul, which is, of course, has been the capital of Korea since the Joseon era.
That's right.
The kimchi up there has actually been inspired, Lindsay, believe it or not, by royal cuisine.
Oh, so Dave, do you know kind of the difference in flavor profiles between royal cuisine and more average Korean cuisine?
I want to say, Lindsay, that I'm either blessed or cursed by like everything kind of tastes the same to me, so I couldn't tell you. Could you tell me?
Oh, it's just basically traditionally the royal-inspired food was not spicy.
Oh.
Nothing to inflame the passions. Nothing so vulgar as chili. So that's why you might see there's kind of like 궁정 떡볶이, which is no gochujang in it.
No gochugaru.
No gochugaru. And also like 잡채 was a big one. Also no gochugaru.
우리 왜 지금 12시 20분에 이런 이야기 하는 걸까요, Lindsay?
You know,
배고픈데요?
I'm so sorry. Blame our producer for making us talk about this. So do you think the kimchi has also been influenced by royal cuisine?
Absolutely right, actually. Specifically up in Seoul, there is a kind of kimchi called Ggn kimchi. That is actually a soy-sauced, ganjang-based kimchi. It's soaked in brine, so a little bit different. It's got, I guess,
Whoa.
more of a darker color to it, a darker complexion, if you will.
Interesting. More like a 장아찌, you know, like a little bit soy pickled.
Your knowledge of pickles is just so impressive.
아니야, 그냥 배고파요.
But that's
Wow.
one kind of kimchi up there.
처음 들었어요.
Yeah, 장김치. Of course, 배추 kimchi is the staple itself. I think we almost just drop the 배추, right? Just call it kimchi. I guess up there in Seoul, though, it's seasoned with brine shrimp. I guess that would be kind of chokgo, right? Also, sometimes pickled clams. Not too spicy, not too salty, exactly like you said. I guess that taking out that gochugaru, not too red.
Yeah, not too here in Jeollado, as I'm sure everyone knows, quite salty. Not too salty, just well balanced.
Just well balanced.
Elegant.
What is it that 안성재 chef님 says?
boy.
Even하게.
Even하게.
Yeah. The even한 kimchi.
이게 처음
I'm not sure if it
들었어요.
makes sense for kimchi. It's more about the cooking style, but I do like the balance.
even하게 좋아요.
네.
Anything else interesting in terms of kimchi up in Seoul?
Yeah, there's one actually that I prepared a visual representation for you,
Really?
Lindsay. It's called bilingual kimchi. This is kind of radish, and it's sliced so that it looks like the scales on a fish, and it's
Whoa.
stuffed with flavorful seasonings. So that's bilingual kimchi. It looks
Interesting.
interesting. Have you ever eaten that one?
No, it kind of looks like pineapple slices. Like, you know the way pineapple slices are a little
Yeah.
bit notched?
It does look like
Yeah.
that. Great observation.
Thank you.
Sure.
Well, okay, so 장김치,
Yeah.
비늘 kimchi,
Yeah.
any other kimchis, if we're going up to Seoul that you want to recommend to us?
Yeah, so when it comes to kimchi season, we've talked about before, Lindsay, how a lot of people around the country not only enjoy eating the kimjang kimchi, but it's almost like a gugru or something like this, that you have to have bosam with it. And so up in Seoul, the bosam kimchi there is pretty rich. It's got tons of different ingredients. You, of course, eat it with oysters as well, with gur. Remember, we talked about a few weeks ago. And together with bosam, that makes an incredible combination. You got the kimjang kimchi, you got the bosam on top, and then a little bit of gur together. Stuff it into your mouth. Wow.
맛있다.
Perfect.
Okay, personal question
Yeah.
for you and all of our listeners out there. Do you prefer 생김치
Uh-huh.
or 묵은 김치? 묵은지.
Yeah, I prefer the mugun kimchi. I prefer a little bit riper. Is that what we would say?
Yes, tangier,
Tangier, a
shall
little
we
more
say?
dank.
That's right. That's coming from, I'm sure you're kind of used to that. The English cheeses also have that
I love
quality,
a strong
right?
cheese, overpowering
Very
scents.
nice. But you gotta say that the crunch on 생김치 is
Yeah, I do
really
like
what
it.
makes the bosam combination really
Yeah.
stand out, right?
And another thing is, you mentioned before about the jong, Lindsay. Every time my wife's family does the kimjang, the jimjang, my mother-in-law, as I'm sure so many other mothers and mother-in-laws are doing across the country, love to assemble and just force it into my mouth.
There's nothing like almost dying from just I can't. Yes, it's like they always overestimate the size of our mouths.
Exactly.
Right?
And one final one I want to tell you about, I actually really like oi sobagi. It's kind of
What's
like
that?
it's cucumbers that are filled with the paste that we use to make kimchi. And that is almost like a salad. So, it's got, I guess, the tanginess of the kimchi, like yangnyeom, but also the refreshing, more cooling effect of the oi, the cucumber itself. So I really like that. I really like the oi sobagi.
That sounds really good. I feel like all of these kimchis sound so high quality, high class, 약간 높은 급.
Yeah, like
같은
we said, I
kimchi?
think the influence of the royal cuisine is probably to be seen in that. And also very delicious. But let's be honest, Lindsay, any and every kimchi is welcome on my dinner table.
Oh, so there
my
for
식탁.
for you, there's no kimchi faux pas. There's no bad kimchi out there.
No bad kimchi. Shiubi kimchi a bit spicy. Shiubi kimchi만 빼고.
Wait, what's shiubi kimchi?
It's just super hardcore spicy, just too much.
Whoa!
Have you never had it before?
No.
Yeah.
Gosh, how many varieties of kimchi do you think there are?
Oh, there's got to be hundreds, right? I mean, maybe even thousands. You could say that every single house that is doing the kimjang has their own recipe, and it's kind of what makes them unique is the effort that goes into it. And so maybe millions of different recipes, different kinds of kimchi, Lindsay.
Do you think there's anything that can't be kimchi-ified?
Good question. Could we make chocolate kimchi? I love a bit of chocolate. Is that? Do you just gag? Why?
I was just
You just
imagining-
gagged on the radio.
Sorry. I was just imagining packing chocolate in the yangnyeom in a hangari to ferment for a couple months. I didn't expect that question to go that far.
I'm always thinking about chocolate in terms of vegetables. I mean, it has to be vegetable. You couldn't use a fruit.
Okay, so I thought so too, because of course if you say podo kimchi or something, it's crazy. However, think about 매실.
Uh-huh.
매실 김치 있을 수도 있는데 매실 장아찌까지 확실히 있어요.
Oh.
그래서 some fruits.
Yeah.
And persimmon. 감.
Ah.
Sometimes they make a
Kimchi?
감 무침, 감 장아찌. I think you could stretch it to kimchi.
Wow, I've started to question my very purpose being on this earth. What is life? What is kimchi? Doesn't kimchi have to be a vegetable?
Oh, you know who would know this? Some of our listeners out there, right?
김치 정확히 뭔지 알고 싶네요.
맞아요. You know, sometimes we hit a barrier about how much we know, right?
제한이죠. So listeners, if you could educate me and Lindsay, please send in your messages to #9870, #9870. Tell us your favorite kind of kimchi. Tell us any kimchi-related stories you have.
That's
Love
right.
to hear it.
And please tell us if there's anything that can't be kimchied.
Can chocolate be kimchied?
Oh, God.
Maybe not.
That's going to be in my nightmares tonight. All right, let's take a break for a song to get that image out of our mind. Dave, do you have anything coming down the tubes?
Absolutely. This one by Espa is spicy.
Time now for our Sharp 9870 quiz.
This is our daily chance for you guys to get involved with our show and hopefully win some prizes too. We give you a quiz every day.
That's right.
Today is not really a quiz though, Lindsay. I want to say straight away.
No. So today is Friday the 13th, and we just thought, hedging our bets, we want to give a nice, easy question. Sometimes Dave and I are really curious about what our listeners really think about life in Korea.
Not just sometimes, always, Lindsay.
That's
we love
right.
to hear from our listeners. Love it when you guys send in messages like with your stories, your memories, your thoughts on our show as well. I know we've had a few really great ones this week, and hopefully today lots of you guys would be so kind as to send us a message. Cheer Lindsay and I up this Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's right. We need all the good vibes we can get. So in that spirit, we've decided today to make our quiz question all about you.
그쵸. And all about kimchi too.
That's right.
Both.
Yes. You and kimchi.
50% you, 50% kimchi.
That's right.
So what's the question we got, Lindsay?
Well, as we've been talking about, we know that this time of year, it's all about kimjang.
맞습니다. 지금이 딱 김장절인데요. But of course, kimchi, as we've started to talk about, Lindsay, varies greatly depending on the region, depending even on the household.
That's right. 그러면 오늘의 질문은 여러분이 가장 좋아하는 김치는 무엇인가요?
What is your favorite type of kimchi? So simple.
That's right. Dave has already said his favorite type is chocolate kimchi.
I'd try it.
I know you
뭔가
would.
앞에 있으면 한번 먹어보고 싶을 것 같아요, Lindsay.
Okay, Dave, I'll keep that in mind.
I would try anything, to be honest.
Yeah, you only live once, right?
Exactly. YOLO. That's a philosophy I live by and maybe die by if I eat the chocolate kimchi, to be honest.
Maybe.
But how can our listeners inform us of their maybe a little bit more like palate-friendly kimchi?
Please tell us your favorite type of kimchi, maybe your kimchi recommendations by sending us a message to sharp 9870. Now, short messages will cost you 50 won. Longer messages will cost you 100 won. 맞죠, Dave?
맞습니다. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원, 문자 수실로도 있습니다. 샵 9870으로 문자 보내주세요. 신청곡이나 뭐 재미있는 사연도 대환영입니다.
맞습니다. And if you send in an answer to us, we have some great prizes from B Hospital,
Culture voucher,
from Sumneb,
an easy breathing mask,
from C Hospital specializing in egg freezing,
a free infertility test,
and from Chungjangro's new wine bar and restaurant Le Paher.
a gift certificate for your next delicious meal.
Just tell us what your favorite type of kimchi is.
We're talking about kimchi across the country as well, maybe giving you guys some ideas. We would love, again, to invite you to send in your contributions. I just talked about some of the maybe somewhat special kimchis you'd find up in Seoul. But to be honest, I think there's probably a little bit more like exotic kimchi available, Lindsay.
Okay, well, let's travel a little bit. I'd like to introduce some of the types of kimchi you might find in Gangwon-do.
Okay, I would say Gangwon-do is my second favorite province.
Oh,
After
really?
Jeollado.
After Jeollado. Why do you like it so much?
Because the kimchi just so darn delicious, Lindsay. 김치 너무 맛있어서 좋아하는 거겠죠?
Dave McGee,
No, it's just
what
a beautiful
pro.
place.
It is,
Yeah.
right? Mountains, the ocean, what a beautiful province. A little bit far, but if you're going to Gangwon-do, I can give you some tips about the kimchi to enjoy there. So you know that Gangwon-do obviously has beautiful coastline on
그쵸.
one side. So you might not be surprised to find out that a lot of the kimchi has a maritime twist.
Maritime twist. So we're saying that there's like more seafood going into this?
Exactly.
Different kind of like tteokguk, as we said.
That's right. So fresh seafood like shredded squid, one of our favorites, 오징어, right? And also Alaskan pollock.
명태.
Oh, Dave,
Yeah.
yes. They're very common in Gangwon kimchi.
So they're used in like the fermentation process. I guess they're like
Yes.
chopped up real fine, put into that yangnyeom that we talked about before.
Exactly. It's almost like you've done this before, Dave. Have you made kimchi in Gangwon-do? Be honest.
Well, actually, I haven't, but maybe my spiritual kimchi homeland might be up there.
in a
'cause
past life.
it's a beautiful place. I can imagine being outside with the mountains behind you, you know, working in the cold because it gets chilly up there a little bit earlier, right?
It
But
really does.
with that said, I guess that would probably contribute to the flavor too. You know, the environment, not just the ocean on the east coast, but also the mountains. I guess the soil, the climate in general. Does it have an impact?
It really does. So the soil often makes a lot of the things that are grown there, which are generally like mountainous crops. So radishes and pechu is also really sweet coming from Gangwon-do. If you talk to people, they will say that Gangwon kimchi is really 달달해요.
진짜요?
달콤해요. Yeah, 맞아요. There's something about the cold that concentrates the flavors in it.
Ooh.
But let me give you a taste of kimchi that I'm interested to
준비하고
see.
오셨어요?
아니요.
아.
그냥 말로
아,
해줄
그래요?
거예요.
그럼
자,
I'll close my eyes.
Okay.
좀
상상해
가볼게요.
보세요.
네.
There is a very special kimchi that's called 서거리 각두기.
Okay, I like kakdugi.
Right. Now this one is a little bit special because
Okay.
서거리 각두기 is diced radish kimchi, as you know,
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
with pollock fish gills. Agami.
Yeah.
The gill, I know. I lost you, right?
Yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah, I know.
See you later.
But listen. 서거리 각두기, apparently, even people who are a little bit sensitive to that fishy taste
Yeah.
like 서거리 각두기.
Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, the yangnyeom is quite strong and it masks a lot of the fishiness from the agami, the gill section. Yeah.
It's just the thought of eating gills. It's not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
자,
I'd try it.
넘어갑시다.
네네.
자, okay,
또
next.
다른 소개하실 거 있으세요?
Yes, and this one is one that I think that both you and I are familiar with and probably enjoy. I'm sure you've heard of 동치미.
Oh, of course. It's like more watery.
That's right. Water kimchi, 물
Oh,
kimchi
it's literally
같은.
called. Oh,
You could call it 물 kimchi. That's right.
can you make kimchi out of water?
Dave, you can make kimchi out of everything.
There
자, 동치미 is, if you've never tried it before, it literally looks like a clear soup.
Yeah.
It's made with vinegar and like a brine, basically.
a bit more
salt and pepper.
acidic.
Exactly. It's really good for eating with our favorite kind of greasy meats. For example,
보쌈?
보쌈은
아닌가요?
괜찮아요. 뭐 삼겹살,
삼겹살.
갈비.
Wait, of all of the meat, why did I say 보쌈 first? Because samgyeopsal.
You know what? You've got
갈비.
김장 on the brain,
그러니까
right?
이번 주면 아마 먹을 것 같아서 계속 생각나는 것 같아요.
맞아요. So in Gangwon-do, the radishes, the mu is really famous. So 동치미, which has slices of mu in it, is also really
Oh,
delicious.
that does sound pretty tasty, yeah, and refreshing too. I personally like the acidity of the dongchimi. You know, it's something you don't really get a lot of in other Korean dishes, I think.
It's like a pickle.
Yeah,
If you could
like a
drink
Western
pickles.
pickle. Yeah. Well, you pickle juice.
That's what it
그러니까
is.
정확히 그런 맛이죠.
Exactly. All right. So if you're going to Gangwon-do, definitely try some of the 동치미. See if it tastes a little bit different from the 동치미 you get around here. And also maybe try fishgill kimchi. Why
Let
not?
us know. Let us know if it's good. I'm curious.
Me too. I want to know the texture. 촉감이, 식감이 어떻게 할까요?
그러게요.
아가미 식감?
Yeah, not too sure. I would imagine it's going to be a little bit chewy, but yeah, I don't really want to think. I'm sure that like in Korean, the word is, you know, pretty relatively appetizing. There's just something about the word gill.
You know
This
what?
doesn't sound too pleasant, Lindsay.
Yeah, I know. But there's something to be said for eating the entire animal, right?
True enough. Waste not, want not. That's a really important preset, I guess, that we should have. Anyway, moving from Gangwon-do, I want to tell you also about Chungjeong-do.
Oh, yeah, 충청도.
yeah.
Okay, what's the kimchi like over there?
Yeah, so we actually talked about Seoul before, kind of eschewing the idea of putting in the red pepper, you know, 아주 빨갛게 하는 것. Actually, Chungjeong-do is not too different from that. It's a bit more mild flavored over there in Chungjeong-do. Not too much gochugaru. Usually they just use pretty much like salt. The tteokgar, of course. Tteokgar seems to be pretty much universal, right?
젓갈 없는 김치 있을까요?
그러게요.
요즘에 비건 김치 있을 수도 있어서
Yeah,
아마
yeah,
그래요.
that's true. Actually, I would say internationally, like 국제적으로, if you buy kimchi, usually for some reason it is vegan.
Oh.
Usually인지 모르겠는데 제가 많이 봤어요.
I think maybe
외국에서는.
the import rules might be a little different. But
Oh.
anyways, tell me more about 충청 kimchi. So less red, a little bit more salt, fish forward.
Yeah, a little bit more salty, exactly. A bit more fish forward. They use actually dogi, the yellow croaker, also shrimp as well in that, the little
Ooh.
mini tteokgar, to add to some of the saltiness, I guess, to make the brine of this one. But yeah, one important thing is that you actually were just talking to me about this before while we were listening to a song. The main ingredients are usually like pre-seasoned before they are diced. So you would put it all together, season it, and that results also in the flavor being a little less dank.
Oh, interesting. So it's actually the more earlier you salt it, the less
Apparently
intense the
so.
flavor is.
Yeah, it's less intense as a result. That's how they do it over there.
I
Do you
didn't
think
know
our
that.
listeners are going to get dank? Maybe I should use a different word.
Dank.
like a deep flavor.
Like a 묵은지.
Like a
or
묵은지.
cheese.
Like
or,
a long-aged cheese.
what do we? There's a word in Korean for that, isn't there?
그런가요?
I don't know. Like aged. You know, like
Yeah.
when you age a steak or 도와주세요, listeners.
어려운 거 많네요.
그러네요.
But what is not difficult is telling you that all kimchi is delicious. I also want to tell you about 석박지. That is a really important variety of kimchi in Chungcheongdo as well.
What's
not
that?
too dissimilar to gakdugi actually.
Oh, okay.
But you might have eaten it. You know, the gakdugi usually is kind of like little cubes. But over in Chungcheongdo, it's actually cut into like bigger chunks, and so it goes really well with like a jjigae or I don't know, a kind of soupier
Stew.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's like the richness is kind of balanced out really well. It's also, of course, got a lot of crunch with it being moo. One final I want to tell you about is 호박지. That's made, as the name suggests, with cored pumpkin mixed with cabbage and radish too. And you can make that into a kind of jjigae too. And sometimes actually add a little bit like gukkae into that as well, a little bit of crab. You're loving this kimchi journey today, aren't
I'm just
you?
like blown away. Pumpkin kimchi. There are
Yeah.
so many kimchis that I've never tried before. I'm just realizing today.
Wow, if only we could actually go outside on the roads, travel across the country, make a TV program trying these, give us some great reactions. I'm sure our future viewers would love that.
Hey, if anyone's interested, we're open to it.
Proposal of a TV series, get Napidi on board.
Love it. Maybe it would be like Dave, Lindsay, and Kimchi.
There you go.
Kimchi journey.
The kimchi journey. We're going to continue our journey in a few minutes, but we got another song first.
That's right. All this talk about kimchi, we gotta play songs that reflect the true taste and beauty of kimchi. How about Bam Bam with Sour and Sweet?
It's sour and it's sweet.
And sweet. Kimchi definitely sour. You said that sometimes it might be a little sweet. I'm not convinced.
I think sometimes. Now, okay,
Really?
I think sometimes the 배추 can be a little bit sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
에이, 그런
Oh.
김치 어딨어요? 그런 배추 어딨어요?
Listeners, back me up. 배추는 약간 달콤한 야채 아니에요?
에이,
나만
절대. 전혀 스윗하지 않은 야채예요.
내 혀 무슨
아따 이게 아니에요. 스크린 보지 마세요.
Hold on, our producer is letting us know in the studio. She says 맞아요. 누구 맞아요, PD님?
Dave. 달라요.
잘해요, 배추.
You know what? The only conclusion I've got from this is if that you and our producer HPD think that 배추 can be sweet, then you must have never had like any sort of sweet fruit in your life. 딸기는 sweet.
We grew up without ice cream,
그러니까.
sugar.
No,
But
maybe it can be. I guess it's about the sugar, and you were saying before that based on the climate, you know, there could be a more intense concentration of sugar, and again, that's all going to be fermented during that process in those big pots, which are called
항아리, 장독대. Actually, no.
Killing
Dave,
it.
Can I tell you something? I don't know what the difference is between 항아리 or 장독대. And I've never had anyone explain it in a way that makes sense. There's two words.
Oh, Lindsay, just do like me and just don't bother even learning.
Can I just say 통?
김치통.
김치통.
저거 김치 있잖아요.
근데 요즘에 뭐 항아리 안에서 뭐 하는 사람 별로 없어요. 제
Because I guess a
생각에는.
lot of people not living in like the 주택 as much anymore. 뭐 아파트에서 사시는 분들이 그런 식으로 발효시키는 게 좀 힘들지 않을까요? Lindsay?
Right, and you can't put a 항아리 in a kimchi 냉장고, right?
I mean, I suppose you could, but it wouldn't be very like economical on the size.
Listen, Dave.
너무 커잖아요.
I think we are asking the important questions about kimchi today.
I want to learn about it. It's a fundamental part of life in Korea. Right now is a fundamental time for every family in Korea that is doing the jjimjang, as we're calling it, for making the kimchi.
That's right.
Speaking of those two, I realize we've talked about Seoul, the 수도권, we talked about 강원도, 충청도. You introduced some place as well, 강원도. 근데 아직은 전라도 이야기 안 한 것 같네요.
그러면 우리 전라도 김치 한번 이야기해 볼까요?
너무 좋은데.
Oh, okay. Well, here we are in our home province of Jeollado. Now, North and South Jeolla provinces in Korea are both known for a lot of kimchi varieties. And I think, Dave, you and I are both familiar with the fact that a lot of people who grew up outside of Jeollado eating other kimchi and come to Jeollado and eat Gwangju kimchi, they always say the same thing.
맛있단께.
그거 and
이게 진짜 맛있네. 아닌가요?
짜요.
짜. So salty.
Yeah, because they put here in they say that in English. That's true. So salty.
So salty.
Because do you know why?
Maybe because of the proximity to the ocean, it means more of like salty air.
You're close. It
Really?
definitely has to do with the location.
그래요?
And it's all about how warm it is
오.
here in Jeollado.
전라도는 따뜻한 지역인가요?
강원도 비교하면?
네, 그러긴 해요.
그래요.
So like the warmer it is, the more intense the salt flavor is,
Close.
basically?
The warmer it is, the more salt you have to add in order to preserve the kimchi.
적을까 봐.
Oh, 맞아요,
I get
맞아요.
it.
So a lot of 젓갈 and a lot of salt into the kimchi in order to keep it from spoiling.
I
right?
see. I personally prefer the salty taste, so it seems like I was born to eat the 전라도 kimchi.
And you know what? If you eat Jeollado kimchi first, like you and I do, and then travel to a different... Sorry.
저 지역은 김치
Sorry.
아니지.
We're 오매광주. We have to rep our kimchi, right?
Yeah.
So here in Jeollado, a lot of the fish that are used for kimchi includes 멸치 and bendengi, which is apparently a kind of herring, and byungeo is also used.
Okay, so they use those in the same way as we're talking about for like the 젓갈 to make
Yes.
the... What's the purpose of that? Just to provide saltiness?
그러네.
Maybe a little bit of 맛?
I think 맛 and...
Because it doesn't taste fishy, right?
No.
김치 먹을 때는 you don't really taste the three things, the 멸치, the 반댕이, the byungeo.
It's all about the fusion of flavors, I think. It provides maybe a depth, a 담백함 maybe to it.
I really like when food YouTubers say you need a little bit of time for the flavors to get to know each other. That's it. You know, the flavors get to know each other. They become familiar with one another. They combine into something greater than the sum of their parts.
Oh, Dave, and you just described the perfect Jeollado kimchi there.
Oh, really?
Now, Dave, I know you're familiar with a very famous Jeollado kimchi that is particularly famous in Yeosu.
혹시 갓김치 이야기 하시는 건가요?
맞습니다.
Yeah.
혹시 갓 영어로
갓 is a kind of hat that is worn by people in like the Chosun
You're
시대.
not wrong. It is hat
근데
kimchi.
다른 거죠.
Yes, it is. So, 갓 in English is mustard greens.
Mustard green. 이게 그런다는 것 같아요. 영어로도 모르는 것 같아요, 제가.
That's right. I like when we read fish names and we're like,
이런 해석을 했었군요.
Alaskan pollock.
big-eyed
Interesting.
herring.
Yes, definitely heard of that one before. But no, you know that 갓김치, it's really crunchy sweet and very tangy. It has a little bit of sour and bitter taste to it. So it's really good for eating with fatty foods like
보쌈? 아니 이번에는 삼겹살이라고 할게요.
그쵸.
삼겹살.
삼겹살, 뭐 갈비, 뭐 그런 거, right?
Yeah.
Also, one thing that we've talked about on the show before is being a huge, long, squiggly coastline.
Yep.
Jeollado has a lot of shellfish.
Oh.
And so oysters are often incorporated into kimchi. I'm not sure. Some houses, when they make the pechu kimchi, they also put whole oysters in.
I've seen that. It's something for a 외국인 like me, maybe for you, Lindsay. It kind of makes me feel a little bit disturbed because oysters are often the cause of, a little bit of an upset tummy.
Oh, yes.
그러니까,
You got to be careful with them,
You got to be careful,
right?
but I'm sure people know what they're doing. As you said, lots of salt in there. That's certainly going to help to some extent. And presumably it breaks down over the course of the fermentation.
Yeah, you would think it's kind of like ceviche, where it gets cooked through acidity.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
One thing we haven't mentioned, I'm not sure if it's a Jeollado specialty, but these days one of my favorite kinds of kimchi is pakimchi.
Pakimchi with japadengi.
Oh, I mean, you can have it with japadengi, but I just like it by itself.
It's good. It's crunchy
Yeah,
and
like
a little
the
bit
crunch.
spicy, right?
Yeah. So that's one that I've really enjoyed. I really love, like, in front of my home there is a 반찬 가게, and I guess they do like daily kimjang, I guess, to some extent. Always go and get the pakimchi from there. That's probably maybe my second favorite kind of kimchi.
And your first one being?
I thought I said before what it was, but I can't remember what it was now, so I don't want to say anything. No comment.
Just like a good 배추 kimchi?
Yeah, 그냥 맛있는 김치로 할게요.
좋아요. But you know what? We've missed a big part of mainland Korea. And I'm interested. The coastline really affects Jeollado kimchi.
Does.
Do you think it has the same effect in other coastal areas?
I would say to some extent, Lindsay, it's a great question. The one region that we haven't talked about for anyone paying attention, you'll have figured out, it's Gyeongsang-do. I guess not too dissimilar. It's known for having pretty strong flavored kimchi, and this one actually does use a lot of like gochugaru, a lot of salt as well, probably for similar reasons. A lot of garlic. If you're a garlic lover, then you want to have the Gyeongsang-do kimchi, and it also makes use of like myochi fish sauce as well. So pretty good. Specifically, I guess the 대표적인 kimchi from Gyeongsang-do is buchu kimchi.
Really?
Yeah.
Sul kimchi, as we learned here in Jeollado, we call it sul kimchi.
Yeah. More of like a salad, right?
Muchi, like a kind of like a muchim, just like tossed with the yangyang.
Exactly, kind of that vibe. Yeah, exactly. Other unique ones that they've got over in Gyeongsang, there is kongyip is one, uong, if you remember that one we talked about before, doraji. These are all made in or incorporated into kimchi in Gyeongsang-do.
Very interesting. Root kimchi is also something that I'm not super familiar. Doraji is a root. Actually, I have no idea what uong is. It looks like a stick.
이것도 그런다는 것 같아요.
맞아요.
우엉도 모르고,
우리
burdoc도
영어로도
모르고.
burdoc도 모르고. I don't know what part of the plant it is. It's
근데
just,
우엉 김치 본 적 있는 것 같아요.
맞아요.
I think that maybe as a foreigner, Lindsay, I wonder if you're the same. It gets to a point after you've lived here for so long, it's just like, this kimchi 뭔지 모르겠는데 그냥 먹으면 되지 뭐.
Oh, 맞아요.
뭔지 몰라도 돼.
Also, if you ever are at a table with some people and you don't really have anything to talk about, a solid thing you can do is ask them what all the kimchi. 이게 뭐예요?
이게 무슨 김치인가요?
이게 뭐예요? And then everyone
이게
starts
뭐
talking
들어가는
about
김치인가요?
이게 우엉인가?
I'd give some great reactions. If you really enjoy the kimchi, what would be your reaction, Lindsay?
If
Like, 먹으면서 you're like, wow, this is really good.
맛있다. 이게 맛있는
다들
게.
그럼 완전 한국인 됐다이.
And Dave, you do the same thing, right?
아, 맛있다. 생각보다 맛있네요.
오, 김치
Yeah.
딱이네.
우리나라에 또 이런 거 있었으면 얼마나 좋을까요?
Okay, come on. Now we're like
bit
milking
more-
the cow a
milking-
little bit.
Hey, just saying what the audience wants to hear, Lindsay. But it's true. And you know what? That is actually a point that we should make. Kimchi, of course, something that's been going on for so long in Korea. But you mentioned before, even in North America, in Europe, kimchi is becoming really popular now, too.
Very popular. And its health benefits, I know sometimes they are overstated in Korea, but its health benefits are really good. The probiotics, prebiotics, very healthy for you.
There you go. Lovely stuff. If you guys have got plans for kimjang this weekend, we wish you good luck. Let us know how it goes. We're going to take a break now, though.
That's right. And finally, we've come to our chance to play the best and most famous kimchi song. Dave, what's it going to
Yeah,
be?
this one is 노라조 with kimchi. Welcome back to the show. You're still tuning in to Ome광주 here on Ggn, of course, on 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in Yeosu.
And it is now time to explore the culture and events of our very own much beloved Gwangju. So welcome to G-Wave.
Yeah, today we are joined once again. It's Friday, and that means we are here with a talented local writer and publisher.
Yes, very hardworking. She runs a magazine dedicated to showcasing the vibrant culture and happenings in Gwangju. She's an international jet setter.
와우, 그런 것 같아요. 그럼 지금 바로 모셔볼까요, 린지?
좋아요. 그럼 누구일까요, Dave?
Of course, it is none other than Miss 백수지 대표님. 안녕하세요.
오랜만에 봬요.
그러네요.
Okay, Dave, can we tell our listeners about 백수지 대표님?
대표님에게 뭐 한번 질문해보세요.
대표님 어디 갔다 오셨어요?
저 일본 다녀왔어요.
언제 들어왔어요?
Today.
Today. Yes.
몇 시간 전이요. 대박 사건.
Wow.
진짜.
She flew back from Japan today.
와우.
시차 적응 중이에요.
와우. 시간 다 있을까요?
시차였어요.
한 시간 아닌가요?
한
적응해야 할 수도 있죠. 적응해야 할 수도 있죠. 하지 말자 이제.
Okay. But we are touched that she came back just for
그러니까.
our show.
그러니까. It's always important. We actually haven't had a show on Fridays for a few weeks. But Gwangju Magazine, it feels like the only way to start our weekend. We talk about some things happening in Gwangju, maybe some interesting places to visit. It's a fun and interesting and very eye-opening time we spend with our 대표님, Lindsay.
And very intellectual, Dave, right? We talk a
very
lot about
intellectual.
독서,
그렇죠.
books, reading, 이런 거. So I'm really looking forward to what we're going to be talking about today.
그러니까, yeah, every Friday we talk about like cultural news, that kind of thing. 그럼 이번 주도 우리 무슨 이야기 할지 진짜 궁금하네요.
네, 오늘 또 책 소식인데
오!
이번엔 책을 이야기하는 게 아니라 책을 만들어 드린다는 그런
오!
이야기, 책 만드는 이야기 하려고 해요.
책 만드는 거예요? 오.
So making books?
오케이.
Like 직접 만드는 거 아니에요? 약간 출판?
오.
What do you say? Publishing?
두 분 혹시 그 책을 내보고 싶다 뭐 이런 생각 안 해보셨어요?
저 많이 하고 싶어요.
그래요?
어렸을 때부터. 근데 문제는 전 정의적인 사람 아니니까 뭐라고 뭐 쓰면 좋을지 그건 뭐 제일 큰 문제인데. What about you?
Oh, Dave, I think you would have a lot of material for a book.
Go on, give me some ideas.
Radiohead.
Yeah, it's already
and
been done.
Liverpool.
It's already been done.
Cats?
Cats. I think there might be one or two books about cats.
Well, Dave, I think there's definitely a book you and I could publish together. How to make a successful local radio show.
Wow, I think we need to read that book ourselves first.
그럼
린지도 그런 생각 해본 적 있으세요?
해본 적이 없습니다.
진짜요?
나 아직은 너무 부족한 사람이라서.
근데 린지 뭐 책 읽는 거 엄청 좋아하잖아요.
책 읽는 거. 근데 읽는 것이랑 만드는 것은 다르잖아요. 그치? 혹시 대표님 그런 생각 있었죠?
저는 대표이기 전에 작가이기도 해서
어.
뭐 책을 만들기도 하고 책을 내기도 하는 사람인데 출판사를 낸 후부터 저한테 종종 책 내고 싶다고 하는 분들이 꽤 있으시더라고요. 작가가 아닌데.
그래요.
네.
그냥 평범한 사람?
네네, 평범한 사람.
근데 책 쓰게 되면 작가도 되는 거 아닌가요?
그렇죠. 책 한 권 있으면 어쨌든 책을 쓴
음.
작가가 되는 거죠. 저서를 가지고 있는.
But I guess that makes sense. Yeah. The mostly written by by writers.
By authors, right?
Authors.
작가들. But
아닐
I guess
수도 있다고 하시는 거죠?
신기해요. 그냥 일반 사람들이도 책 낼 수 있죠?
네, 그래서 또 저번에 말씀드린 독립 서점 같은 독립 출판이 또 유행하고 있어요. 그러니까 출판사를 끼거나 뭐 정식적인 절차를 밟지 않더라도 소량의 책들을 만들어내는. 그래서 꼭 판매용이 아니라 뭐 소장을 할 수도 있고 이렇게 선물을 줄 수도 있고 그래서 여러 가지 용도로 책이 많이 만들어지고 있습니다.
Okay, so not only independent bookstores, but also independent publishers.
Yeah.
And these independent publishers can help people publish books that may never be sold, but just for personal use or gifts or personal accomplishments.
I love the thought of that. It certainly makes it feel like it's more of like a realistic thing for just an average Joe, average Dave like myself.
Yeah, an average Dave, you don't have to worry about, oh, is somebody going to publish this book? Do I get a sign an offer? You know, I'm sending it to the big boys. You can find an independent publisher and kind of self-publish.
그럼 뭐 너무 좋은 것 같은데요. 그래서 뭐 광주에도 그렇게 뭐 책을 소량으로 출판할 수 있는 방법도 있을까요?
바로 저희 출판사에서 해드리고 있습니다.
Oh, 역시 we got the connection.
There we go.
그래서 꼭 소개를 해드리고 싶었는데요.
네.
저희는 시리즈 출판이라고 해서 표지는 같은데 또 그 함께 그룹 클래스를 통해서 책을 만드는 그런 이제 출판을 도와드리고 있어요. 그래서 50권이나 100권 이렇게 나누어서 소량의 인쇄를 해드리는 거죠.
Whoa. Okay, so this is, I think Dave, our 대표님 said series publishing
그러니까
service.
일단은 그거 영어인 것 같긴 한데 무슨 말인지 모르니까 we have to ask about that. But yeah, so it's the covers are the same, but through classes the manuscript is made for the books, and though, like you said, Lindsay, it's done in small batches, 50 or 100. But yeah, I want to know about that. But series 출판이라고 하셨죠, Lindsay?
맞아요. 시리즈 출판을 하는 건 뭐예요?
예를 들면 저는 이렇게
오,
가져왔는데
가져오셨네요.
이거 저희가 출판한 건 아니고요. 문학동네 시인전이에요. 되게 유명한 많이 보셨죠? 유명한 표지에.
네.
그 표지가 똑같잖아요. 색깔만 다르고.
그렇죠.
그리고 이제 제목이랑 저자 이름만 다르죠. 작가들 이름만. 그래서 저희 출판사도 이런 걸 지역에서 좀 시도해보면 재밌겠다 싶어서 같은 디자인, 같은 표지, 같은 사이즈 그런데 이제 내용이랑 작가 이름만 다르게 해서 이렇게 좀 시리즈물로 출판을 도와드리고 있어요.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a series, like one person writing a
그쵸.
series. Dave, can you explain a little bit what the series
Yes,
publishing means?
so if anybody is watching on our YouTube channel, which by the way, just search for Ggn Global 광주방송, click on live, we're on there right now. You'll have seen that the covers like look the same size, 도 똑같고, the font is the same, but the title is different and the color is different. 왠지 저번 주였던 것 같은데 그 펭귄 북도 가져오셨잖아요.
맞아요.
그거랑 좀 비슷한 컨셉인 것 같네요. It's like basically all of the books you can collect. You can have 100 books and they're the same size. I guess it's really aesthetically pleasing.
That's right. And also because these are not necessarily books that are going to be sold, as we said, they are published in small batches, like 50 or 100 copies. They're not necessarily made for like advertising the books. It's more for people or writers who want just to get a chance to actually hold their own book in their hands.
I can imagine that'd be so fulfilling, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and so we heard that at our 대표님's publishing company, that's what they're working on. So 진짜 좋은 것 같아요.
신기해요.
Yeah.
And they do classes where they help you through making the manuscript for
Yeah.
the book. Interesting. 근데 책 내는 것은 비싸지 않아요?
그래서 저희도 이걸 생각하게 된 이유가 책 비용을 절감하는 게 가장 이제 좋은 방법이 뭘까 고민을 하다가 생각하시기에 책 낼 때 비용이 가장 많이 드는 부분이 어떤 부분인 것 같으세요?
Okay, what is the most expensive part of publishing a book, Dave?
Maybe the paper itself, 그 종이 그 자체 아닌가요?
종이.
뭐 if you're going to publish 100 books, 뭐 한 100페이지씩 나오니까 그럼 계산해 보니까 뭐 10,000장 나가니까 종이 비싸지 않을까요?
오, 합리적인.
아니 근데 잉크도 생각하면 왠지 저기보다 잉크 비쌀 것 같아요. 잉크 엄청 비싸니까. 그렇죠? 린지 어떻게 생각해요?
제 생각에는 디자인.
오.
Cover design, you know, usually you have to employ like an artist to create a specific cover design for it.
두 분 다 정답이신 것 같아요.
Wow!
정답 2개인가요?
네.
Dave, our second job is calling.
Wow.
Cut out to be publishers.
There you go. 근데 요즘은 왠지 그 디자인 그냥 AI 맡기면 되지 않을까요?
Oh, no, we don't talk about AI design here, Dave. Support the artists.
제가 하고 싶어서 말하는 거 아니에요, 대표님. 그런데 그렇게 하는 사람 있잖아요.
표정이
그러니까.
많이 어두워졌어요.
그러니까 추천 아닙니다.
Okay. 자,
하지 마세요.
넘어갑시다.
네, don't do that.
편집 안 되죠.
아니 근데 그렇게 하는 사람 있잖아요. 그런데요, 제가 그런 AI로 뭐 디자인 만든 책 볼 때마다 기분 안 좋아져요. 진짜 안 좋아 보이고 뭔가 좀 뭐 마음이 없는 것 같아요. 그렇게 하면 그렇죠?
네.
혹시 뭐 잘 됐나요? 이제
아니 하실 수도 있는데 당연히 비용 문제도 있고 여러 가지 문제가 있으니까 하실 수도 있는데 책 디자인이 생각보다 정교하고 까다로워요. 그래서 저희가 평소 하는 일러스트나 포토샵으로는 조금 많이 힘들고 인디자인이라는 책 디자인 프로그램이 따로 있거든요.
Wow,
그래서
I didn't know that.
네,
인디자인.
책을 전문적으로 디자인하는 분들을 구하기도 힘들고 책을 디자인하기가 굉장히 까다로워서 말씀하신 것처럼 디자인 비용 그리고 이제 당연히 종이가 많이 들어가니까 종이에 따른 인쇄 비용이 가장 많이 들죠.
The printing fee. Oh, there we go. But we're getting the start of learning a thing or two about publishing. By the way, earlier on when I said I wanted to publish a book, our producer said I could make a book about how to schedule. 제가 뭐 시간 관리하는 게 너무 좋아해가지고 우리 PD님이 저한테 뭐 그런 추천했어요. 뭐 시간 관리.
Oh,
So
Dave
maybe
is
I'm-
like the pro scheduler.
Yeah.
He is both TJ, which means like T is 논리적인, logical, and J is super planner, and he's a Virgo.
Ah,
처녀 자리도 있어요. 그 합쳐서 he is
광역시가.
the god of planning.
I'll just write it all into a book. There we go.
Plan it out, Dave.
There
You
you
gotta
go.
plan out your plan.
Oh, I'm
for
going to
it.
plan my plan. I've got a plan to make a plan. Sounds good. We'll talk a little bit more about publishing. This is a really interesting idea. Maybe some of you guys who are listening today might want to get involved. But first, as our producer made that comment, she also has a song which I think is from me. This would be what I would write on the book.
Oh, this is when Dave is autographing
Yeah.
his upcoming bestseller. He'll be signing it DM by Promise 9.
right there. Promise 9. I'm DM. Next to me is LA.
That's right.
Oh, LA. That's such a good little acronym. What's the word I'm looking for?
Acronym. Acronym. Yes.
Initialism.
My initials. Yes. And we are joined by. How would we initialize?
BSJ.
BSJ.
맞나요?
맞아요.
Wow. That's us. We are here talking about the publishing process for a book. If you've ever been interested in writing your own book, but you thought, I mean, HarperCollins, Penguin, they're never going to pick me. Don't worry, because we are learning about a way that you can be published even here in Gwangju.
Yeah, I love that this is something which is becoming more accessible for normal people just like you and me, Lindsay, and we're getting some insight today into what that process is like. 백수지 대표님, who is joining us, is telling us about some of the complicated parts, and we were just talking about, or I made a little bit of a 말실수, I suppose. I was like, 그냥 AI, just ask the AI to do it. 대표님 왠지 별로 안 좋아하시는 것 같은데 제가 그렇게 말하는 게. So, of course, I don't recommend that, but design is certainly something to think about. So we were talking about design specifically. 그쵸?
Right. And when I think of design, I think I was just thinking of like the cover
그쵸?
work, but I guess actually everything in the book is designed, right?
생각해보니까 맞는 것 같아요. 뭐 책 디자인이라고 하면 뭐 글이나 원고를 책에 맞게 따로 디자인을 하는 건가요?
네, 그렇죠. 저희는 지금은 에세이 기획을 하고 있는데 이제 에세이라면 본인의 이야기를 하는 거잖아요. 근데 이제 아까 디자인도 얘기해 주셨는데 디자인보다 저희 출판사가 꼭 필요하신 이유가 글을 100페이지가 넘게 길게 사실 다 못 쓰시는 분들이 많아요. 근데 책은 내고 싶을 수 있잖아요.
그렇죠.
글은 잘 못 쓰는데 책은 내고 싶어. 그런 분들을 위해서 저희는 이제 원고를 같이 봐드리는 수정도 해드리고 교정교육도 해드리고 글도 같이 써드리는 그런 클래스를 같이 겸하고 있어요.
Whoa, interesting.
All inclusive.
That's cool. So there are a lot of people, perhaps like you and me, Dave, who want to publish a book, but don't think we could actually make it over 100 pages of writing.
Yeah, that's pretty challenging. I'm trying to think back, Lindsay, to when I did my master's degree. I did my master's degree like several years ago, and I wrote dissertation 논문 썼는데 그 논문 아마 한 70페이지였을 것 같은데 와 진짜 쓰기 힘들었어요. 뭐 한 6개월이나 걸렸는데 마지막에 진짜 정신 하나도 없어서 뭐 I just 포기했어요. 그 순간에. 그런데 뭐 왠지 지금도 다시 쓰고 싶은 마음이 생긴 것 같아서 왠지 이런 뭐 시스템 이런 platform 통해서 할 수 있지 않을까요, Lindsay? What do you think?
That's right. And also our 대표님 mentioned that through her publishing company, small independent publishing companies, not only will they do a lot of the design for you, they'll coach you through
classes.
Yeah, with their classes, they'll coach you through fixing your manuscript, editing your manuscript, making it into something that's worth publishing, perhaps stretching it over that 100-page limit, if you'd like.
What would we call that? Like fleshing it out?
Fleshing it out, yes.
Yeah. I'm seriously intrigued about this as a person that's given some thought to doing this. Like I've thought about writing a book. So I can see why, there's a lot of different things involved. I'm becoming more and more curious, Lindsay, about this process. But of course, time is the name of the game, right? It's going to take a long time to do it, 그쵸? 뭐 시간 좀 걸릴 것 같은데.
맞아요. 좀 더 소개해 주세요, 그 대표님.
책 한 권이 나오려면 이제 디자인을 하고 인쇄하는 이제 시간까지 걸리기 때문에 한 달 정도 이제 시간이 걸리는데. 또 사실 책을 판매하려면 좀 중요한 절차가 있어요. ISBN이라는
ISBN, International Standard Book Number.
Whoa!
와우!
Where did that come from?
천재!
잠깐만.
어려운 말 아니에요.
What is ISBN?
You didn't hear that?
No.
모든 책이 좀 유일한 숫자 있는 거예요. 그래서 인터넷 검색하면 그 ISBN으로 검색하면 쉽게 찾을 수 있는 거죠.
맞아요. 약간 여권 번호처럼
그쵸.
고유의 책에 번호가 있는 거예요. 오, 똑똑하신데요. 역시.
Books have passports?
Yeah,
I
그런
learned
것
something
같아요.
Wait a minute. Are we still not using like the Dewey Decimal System?
그건 뭔지 한번 설명해야 할 것 같은데.
옛날 것이요.
I see, yeah. So, the ISBN? 그럼 ISBN도 뭐 어떻게 신청할 수
출판사이기
있는지?
때문에 이제 그 ISBN을 소량이든 누구든 이제 책을 내신다면 그 책에 저희가 붙여드리는 작업까지 해드리는 거죠. 그래서 판매도 하실 수 있고 네, 소장뿐만 아니라 정말 작가의 책으로서 물건으로서 하나의 제품이 되기 때문에 그 ISBN이 붙여진 책을 이제 갖게 되시는 거죠.
So wow. So this is why independent publishers are so important because they help you. It's like a one-stop shop if you've ever wanted to be published. They will help you get your book passport, which I just found out was a thing. Your
왠지 그거
ISBN.
모르는 게 진짜 신기하네요. ISBN. maybe 그 제가 뭐 관리하는 게 좋아하니까 왠지 아는
So you're
거일
always
수도
looking at
있어요.
the ISBN
Yeah,
number.
make it 순서대로. It has to be in the correct order.
그래요,
Let's take a quick break, guys. Try and get our ducks in a row whilst we listen to a track. What should we listen to, Lindsay?
How about Casey with 나 그대 위에 시 한 편을 쓰겠어. 나 그대 위
Right there. 나 그댈 위해 시 한 편을 쓰겠어. Writing a poem for somebody that you love. I guess that could be a great thing that you might want to use the service that 백수지 대표님 is telling us about today. If you've always dreamt of having your name written on the front cover of a book, of being able to tell people you're a published author, well, this is your chance.
That's right. So we're learning all the ins and outs. We've learned that publishing companies like 백수지's will help their baby authors, flesh out their manuscript, edit it, get it in, what is it, ISP?
ISBN.
ISBN number for that book. But on top of that...
ISP. 완전 다르네요.
They'll also help you design a cover if you need that, but also help you with actually designing the inside of the book.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's actually, I guess, harder than you and I have given it credit for, Lindsay. It's pretty complicated, but the fundamental thing is that all of the designs are like consistent with each other. I can see, by the way, that we got a message from listener 9482, Lindsay.
Did we? Dave, do you think you could read this? I don't have my glasses.
No problem. Our listener says 그렇게 쉽게 책 낼 수 있는 방법 있는지 몰랐어요. 와, 배달음식 전문가인데 배달음식 관련해서 글 써도 되나요? 전 그런 책 읽고 싶은 것 같아요.
배달음식 전문가는 뭐 어떤 전문가?
많이
아.
뛰는 사람이에요.
저는 하시는
VIP?
분이신 줄 알았는데.
VIP.
Maybe the VIP level. 아주
VVIP.
gold, platinum level.
Yeah.
뭐 약간 we need some 배달 시킬 때는 약간 전략 strategy 있는
오.
꿀팁. 뭐 어떻게 뭐 how can you save money when you order 배달?
The best way to save money is just to not order, right?
The best way to write reviews.
Ah.
There's a lot of good material. 어떻게 생각해요, 대표님?
아, 너무 출판해드리고 싶은데요.
Oh!
There you go.
Do we get like a finder's fee?
Yeah, we also.
좋아요.
그
우리한테
멘트로 좀.
수수료 좀 주셔야 할 것 같아요. We may 이거
좋아요.
관계 만들어서.
Thank you so much, listener, for sending that in. And just another reminder that you can get in touch with us anytime you want at sharp 9870, sharp 9870, or you can see us in the flesh, right, Dave?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just search on YouTube for Ggn glóbal광주방송. You'll be able to see the three of us in the studio right now. Hopefully, you'll be able to like drop a couple of messages in it as well. If you have an idea for a book that you'd like to publish. Lindsay, you did say 뭐 한 20분 전에 제가 물어봤는데 책 뭐 쓸 마음이 없다고 하셨는데 조금 생기는 걸까요?
좀 욕심 좀 생겼어요.
진짜요? 무슨 내용으로 쓰고 싶으세요?
그러네요. 그거 문제죠.
그건 문제죠.
생각해볼게요. Because you know what, Dave? We're going to take a break for a song because we
좋아요.
got a 신청곡.
그러네요. This is from our 배달 음식 expert. Thank you very much for that message. We'll be back after a break. First, this track by 17. It is La La Lee.
Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Every day I write the book. Welcome back to 오매광주 here on Ggn. You're listening at 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in Yeosu. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Dave.
And this is Jerry. I mean, 백수지 대표님.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
She is the 대표님 of a publishing company, independent publishing company here in Gwangju. And that's what we're talking about today, writing our own books.
Yeah, it's something which I guess a surprisingly large amount of people have put some thought into. You know, before the break we got a message from somebody who described themselves as 배달 음식 전문가, and they said they want to write a book about 배달 음식. It's a great idea, but that got me thinking. This book series. 뭐 현실적으로 어떤 분들이 뭐 책 쓰게 되셨을까요?
연령대별로 좀 다양한데 이제 20대, 30대 분들은 본인 얘기를 많이 하고 싶어 하세요.
아, 진짜요?
So like
biography. autobiography.
autobiography. 약간 자기 스토리.
아, 자기 소개.
사랑 이야기, 현재 이야기.
오.
현재 사랑 이야기, 뭐 일 이야기, 뭐 이런 뭐 취미와 관련된 아니면 애완동물 관련된 이야기라든지 현재에 본인이 가장 사랑하고 이제 가장 열중하고 있는 그런 것들을 많이 감정을 표출하고 싶어 하시는 것 같아요, 책에.
Interesting. So the 20s and 30s, our generation, Dave, love to talk about themselves.
Who knew? 진짜 상상 못했어요.
Millennials. No, so a lot of what I really like about Korean literature generally is that the outside is usually about a character with a very normal life. You know, 평범한 사랑, 평범한 일, 뭐 그런 거 안에서 무슨 깊은 의미 있을 수도 있어요 in Korean literature. So that sounds like that.
Wow, I guess so. I guess the point is that even real normal people, like 현실적으로 normal people, also can have some interesting part. 저만 빼고 저는 interesting 한 사람 아니니까.
Hey, no way.
왠지 그런 것 같은데, but I like the thought of that. So if you have some sort of inspiration, maybe you really love your pet, your love story, or you've had some interesting experience. You know, I'm sure lots of people have had interesting moments in their lives, and why not put pen to paper and make a book?
Yeah. Okay, well, now I'm curious. That is for the 20s and 30s, love telling their
그러네.
own stories. 그럼 혹시 대표님 뭐 40대, 50대, 60대 분들이 어떤 책을 쓰고 싶어요?
조금 노년에 있으신 분들은 이제 저희 그 말 그대로 자서전.
autobiography.
autobiography.
맞아요.
지금까지 어떻게 살았는지.
네네. 자식 이야기, 뭐 본인의 삶의 뭐 애환, 그리고 본인의 역사죠, 한마디로. 한 인물의 역사를 조금 자서전, 한 권의 책으로 이제 정리하시는 분들이 많이 있으시죠. 정말 뭐 특별한 이야기가 사실 없더라도 한 사람의 역사 자체가 너무 특별하잖아요.
그렇죠.
자서전은 웬만한 작가의 책보다는 더 훌륭한 내용이 담길 수밖에 없는 것 같아요.
Oh, that's a really good point, actually. Sometimes real life stories are more impactful than fiction.
And I can imagine like the impact of that as well. 뭐 100년 뒤면 뭐 그런 책 읽으면 뭐 지금 relative 어떻게 살았는지 직접 읽을 수 있잖아요. 뭐 진짜
우리
도움이 될 것 같아요.
좀 사신 인생을 다 볼 수 있을 것
그렇죠.
같아요.
Can you imagine, like, Lindsay, if you wrote a book, your own autobiography, maybe you think your life is boring, but 100 years from now, your relatives will read that book and be like, 와, 100년 전에 이 린지 앤드루즈라는 사람이 이렇게 살았구나.
맞아요.
방송국에 나왔구나.
Wow, this is before they had holograph 방송, so they did radio.
라디오라는 거 뭐지?
That's
이
wild.
데이브라는 사람이랑 같이 일했구나.
이상하지
와, 이
않아요?
데이브라는 사람 진짜 재밌는 사람인 것 같네.
And then they fall in love with you as a fictional character.
린지는 별로 재미없는데 이 데이브라는 캐릭터 진짜 재밌는 것
더
같아.
알고 싶어요.
Yeah.
근데 그래서 대부분 non-fiction book 많이 쓰셔요? 그
맞아요,
사람들이?
맞아요. 저희 뭐 최근에 또 한강 작가님이 수상하셨지만
어허.
그런 문학 작가들, 문학을 쓰시는 분들이 이제 있는가 하면 요즘에는 어려운 글보다는 되게 쉽고 공감 가는 글을 많이 좋아하세요.
Yes, yeah.
그래서 되게 기성 작가들의 책보다는 이런 쉽고 이제 평범한 이야기를 쓰는 책들을 많이 구매를 하시기 때문에 누구든 작가가 될 수 있고 누구든 책을 판매할 수 있는 거죠.
I love her positivity.
Great
Anyone
point.
can do it.
Yeah.
근데
So
그건 왠지 네 맞는 말인 것
We
같아요.
can do it, Dave. We can
Yeah.
do it because
Just need an idea.
that seems like the trend these days is that people are, besides the big authors, right? A lot of people are just interested in 공감 뭐예요? 영어로는 공감?
I guess like
공감해주는 이야기. 공감.
like to be empathetic. Is that what you were
things we can relate to?
Yeah, to be relatable. It's a difficult one. I've been thinking something, Lindsay. 우리 몇 주 전에 우리 다른 슈거토끼라는 게스트랑 이야기했는데
봤어요.
혹시 보셨어요? She told us that she like go to 노래방 like 노래학원. 노래학원?
노래학원?
singing
맞아.
academy.
음악학원?
그런 거 뭐 원래 그렇게 뭐 할 생각이 없었지만 하게 돼서 진짜 재밌다고 하셨잖아요. 왠지 비슷하게 우리 슈가토끼님 같은 사람들이 이렇게 뭐 출판하게 되면 뭔가 진짜 깊은 의미 있을 것 같아요. It'll be really deep meaning for them to do something like that.
Definitely. 뭐 부부도 같이 약간 부부 책도 쓰면 너무
Wow,
재밌을
부부
것 같아요.
사움.
Can you 부부 사움 아니?
그건 interesting이죠.
I was thinking like date courses,
아.
like publish a book together.
오.
right?
그리고 엄마랑 그 자식의 그런 이야기도 같이 쓰시는 분들도 있어요. 동화책을 만들어
Wow.
분들도 계시고.
It's a great like family, all in the family.
Oh,
Nice.
write a kids book together.
Could we write a book together, Lindsay?
Could we write a book together?
좋아요.
어떤 책 추천하세요?
그냥 이 자체의 이야기도 책이 될 것 같은데요. 광주에 사시면서 수많은 사람들이 이렇게 만나시잖아요.
그렇죠.
그 이야기도 쓰셔도 재밌을 것 같아요.
그러면
뭐
우리-
백수지 부분도 있고
Yes, there's like
사투리 선생님.
사투리 선생님도 있고.
그러면 우리 영어로도 해도 돼요?
같네.
좋은
안 된다고
질문이-
하시고.
말문이 막혀버리는데.
그런
아.
경험 없으시죠?
네.
음.
근데 저도 영어를 하는 게 결국에 저한테 많이 도움이 될 것 같아서 영어를 꼭 배워가지고 영어 책을 출간하는 게 저도 목표예요.
I mean,
펭귄북스처럼.
오.
I'm sure 여기 한국에서 계시는 뭐 외국인들이 엄청 관심 좀 있을 수도 있어요.
그쵸. It's an
그쵸.
interesting experiences that lots of us have had, right? I mean, have you ever thought about it, Lindsay? We talk about autobiography. 솔직하게 말하면 제가 어렸을 때부터 만약 내가 50년 뒤에 엄청 유명하게 한 사람 되면 내가 어떻게 살았는지 미리 썼으면 좋을 것 같다고. 당연히 그렇게 유명한 사람 될 리가 없지만 혹시 모르니까
맞아.
좀 미리 써볼까요?
Yeah, why not? What would you call it? 제목 뭘까요?
The life of a scouser. 모르겠네요. 뭐 재미있는 제목 먼저 생각해요.
제가 지어드려도 돼요?
어,
유명한 데이비.
근데 또 다른 저보다 훨씬 유명한 데이브 있잖아요.
누구예요?
먼저 엄청 많아요.
더 유명한 데이브 어디 있을까요?
Thanks, Lindsay. Maybe I could be what is the other one? 영국 남자.
영국 남자.
Yeah, I'm
리버풀 남자.
I'm the real 영국 남자.
That's
What about
right.
Lindsay? What would your book be?
What would my book be? I'd like to write a book about orcas.
Orcas.
범고래. 저 범고래 관심 엄청 많아요.
Go on. You got to sell us on this book, Lindsay. 무슨 내용이 있을지 한번 설명해 주세요.
So orcas are the 가장 독특한
동물?
the what do you call
고래?
고래 species이에요. 너무 독특하고
not dolphin.
they are a dolphin. Yes, actually, good point, Dave.
I meant are dolphins not the smartest?
No, they are the smartest. They live in families, they live in groups, they hunt seals, they play, they have their own languages, their own culture.
Wow.
This is a little bit like 우양우,
밈
but
같은 것도 있잖아요.
yes. Did you remember the 범고래 패션도 있었어요? The 범고래 wear the salmon on their head. Have you heard about that? Yeah.
한참
so-
진짜 전 세계적으로
맞아요.
그런 모자
Yep.
다 썼잖아요.
Okay, but let's talk to the
The real
expert.
writer.
Yes.
Not fake writer
no,
like us.
not us. So 대표님도 그 대표님의 책도 출판하셨어요?
네, 저는 올해 이제 저희 출판사에서 여행 에세이.
오!
여행 에세이.
여행 에세이.
와우. 그래서 생각보다 쉬웠어요? 힘들었어요? 그 직접 쓰는 거?
글과 사진이 이제 담긴 에세이인데 재밌었던 과정이었고 스스로 이제 가장 어려웠던 건 그 교정하고 검열을 하는 이제 출판사의 그런 파트들이 따로 있잖아요. 그래서 저는 작가가 그냥 하면 되지. 저걸 꼭 전문적으로 하는 사람이 있어야 하나 생각했는데 역시나 자기 글은 안 보이더라고요. 오타 체크나 이제 아무리 수십 번 읽어도 체크가 잘 안 돼요. 그래서 그런 부분들이 조금 아쉬웠어요. 제가 쓴 글을 제가 혼자 검열하고 이제 교열을 한다는 게 그래서
Do everything by yourself is going to be tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what actually we've heard. Like No Boundary offer these services. 다른 사람들한테 이런 서비스 다 주시는 거죠?
그쵸. 그 부분들까지 출판사로서 역할을 해드리는 부분입니다.
그래서 처음부터 끝까지
처음부터 끝까지.
모든 과정도 도움이 줘요. 그쵸?
네네. 그냥 몸만 오시면
뭔만 아이디어 없어도
말만 하시면
말 안 하고
말은
싶으면은
하셔야 돼요.
그럼 말은 꼭 해야 하는 거예요.
There you go. So at 백수지 대표님's publishing house, they will help you from the first step until the last step. Just bring yourself. You don't even need an idea, as Dave said. You can just show up, and they will coach you through the entire process.
I love that.
Of writing.
That's what I mean. I was talking about Sugar Talkie before because she seems to have all these kinds of hobbies that she's introduced to us. 뭐 이런 걸로도 뭐 취미, 생활 할 수 있을 것 같은데. You could make a hobby of learning how to write your book, imparting your ideas into it, and then 그 과정도 있잖아요. Like the design, the spacing. 아까도 이야기하셨는데 그 series 책이라고 하셨죠? So they all have the same color. 표지라고 하셨는데 뭐 그것도 한번 설명해 주실래요?
네, 이제 뭐 표지도 사실 표지가 너무 중요하잖아요. 저는 표지가 예뻐서 책을 사기도 하거든요.
Me too. Me too. I'm the same way. It's the cover. I will just if the cover design is good, I will choose.
그럼
it.
AI로 만들면 안 되겠네요.
안 돼요.
네.
안 돼요.
표지를 보면 뭐 색감 그리고 폰트 이런 것만 봐도 이 책이 어떤 분위기에 어떤 내용이겠구나 이제 충분히 추론을 할 수 있는데 그래서 내용과 주제에 따라서 표지도 달라야 돼요. 뭐 시집은 뭐 이런 사이즈의 이런 표지가 굉장히 예쁘다. 해서 이제 이 시리즈 책이 나왔겠죠. 그리고 뭐 양장 책이라고 해서 두꺼운 하드커버 혹시 아세요?
hardcover.
알죠.
딱딱한 그 커버는 굉장히 비싸요.
비싸요. 우리도 책 살 때 우리 이미 알고 있어요.
네.
항상 hardcover
비싸요.
피하고 대신 softback으로
paperback.
softback이라고도 하죠? 아닌가?
Oh, I've never heard it.
paperback right paperback이네요. 네, 비틀즈 노래.
그리고
Sorry, TMI.
I'm mommy.
Oh, Army. She's not a Beatles fan. Hey, did the Beatles ever have a fan club name?
Beatlemania. 혹시 들어본 적 I could write a book about the Beatles.
There you go.
전 비틀 팬이니까 저 그런 책 왠지 쓸 수 있을 것 같네요.
You found it, Dave. You
그런
found
책
your
너무
inspiration.
많지만 이미 뭐 거의 천권 이상.
No, but this is the perspective of one Liverpool boy living in Korea on the Beatles. Right?
So many people are going to want to read that. 진짜 얼마나 많은 사람들이 그 책 읽고 싶을까요? But there you go. It's so interesting. So yeah, the 표지, as you guys said, based on how pretty the cover is or how engaging it is, you might just decide to buy the book.
Also, like it has to express about what the book's story is. You know, if it's a sad story, 뭐 슬픈 이야기는 어떤 색깔, 약간 어두운 색깔도 표지 있어야 되죠.
그럼요. 색감이 굉장히 중요한 것 같아요. 뭐 보라색도 다 같은 보라색이 아니잖아요. 뭐 이런 것도 보라색이지만 이런 것도 퍼플이고. 그래서 그 색깔부터 디자인, 뭐 폰트까지 그리고 이 글자 간격까지. 굉장히 하나하나 다 조율을 하고 디자인을 해야 되는 부분이 책이라서 굉장히 까다로운 작업이긴 해요. 네, 그래도 그 저번에 제가 말씀드렸잖아요. 텍스트 힙시대다. 기억하세요?
텍스트 기억나죠.
글을 쓰고 책을 읽는 사람이 멋있어 보이는, 힙하다, 이런 시대잖아요.
맞아요. 우리 명함도 만들 수 있잖아요.
네, 맞아요.
작가.
phone?
린지 작가.
좀 멋있는 것 같은데.
You can put it on your business
I've actually
card.
introduced myself as a writer to people before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Dave 작가?
몇번 작가 아니고 like 어떤 외국인이랑 이야기하면서 there's like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a writer. 근데 진짜 많이 하는 거 아니지만 그래도 한 번씩 하니까
Sounds better than
멋있는 것
artist,
같아요.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an artist.
Yeah. Writer is like, I don't know, a little bit more deep personality or something. But the thing is that anybody can become a writer.
That's right. Oh my gosh, Dave, someone was listening to you. We got a request for a song.
We did, but I guess that before we listen to the song, Lindsay, we should say thank you and goodbye. 너무 아쉽게 시간 보니까 뭐 we have to say goodbye to. So 이번 주도 뭐 아주 재밌는 콘텐츠도 소개해 주셔서 정말 감사합니다, 대표님.
감사합니다.
꼭 책 많이 만들러 문의해 주세요.
Oh,
Our
now's your
listeners,
time, guys.
Yeah, you got to check it out. No Boundary. It's fully inclusive. You can go from start to finish, learn how to make a book. Everything will be guided along the way. It sounds wonderful.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, so I just sang a few bars of this track before. Let's listen to this one right now. It's the Beatles with Paperback Writer.
Paperback ride.
Beatles, Paperback Writer. Request, by the way, listener 2908. Thanks for that one. I love that song. Great song. We're still in the studio, actually, with 백수지 대표님.
That's right.
We were talking about publishing books. It's been a lot of fun, but we also talked about something else about an hour ago, Lindsay.
That's right. Now, usually at this part of the show, we will reveal the answer to today's quiz. But guess what? Today's quiz was an opinion quiz.
그러니까.
And so we are going to do something a little different. We're going to ask our 백수지 대표님 our opinion quiz question.
네.
Let's see what she has to say. 자, 준비하셨어요?
네.
Okay.
대표님, 가장 좋아하시는 김치가 뭘까요?
김치요?
네, 김치.
딱 하나 떠올랐어요.
뭐예요?
어떤 거요?
지금 먹으면 너무 맛있는 갓김치.
갓김치 역시 전라도 girl입니다.
그러니까 전라도 대표 김치잖아요.
먹고 싶어요.
와, 우리 it would be nice. 우리 지금 김치 준비해놨으면 얼마나 좋았을까.
좋을
Would have been
것
good. But
같아요.
Lindsay 이번 주말 김장 하실 건가요?
Nope.
어.
김장 패스.
대표님
네.
김장 하실 생각 있으세요?
No.
김장 패스.
네.
요즘에 I wanna say like 요즘에 한 50%는 그냥 김장 안 할 것
해요.
같아요. 안
진짜요?
해요. 힘들고 비싸고 할 필요한 이유도 없을 수도 있어.
진짜요?
Okay, and 대표님 is like 힘들어요. 몸한테.
버치다.
버치다.
We learned it from our 사투리 선생님.
맞아요.
버치다. 김장,
But-
김치.
Dave is doing 김장
네,
this
집에서
weekend.
아주 간단하게 김장 할 생각이 있는데 성공될지 아직 모르니까 뭐 다시 이야기 안 할 것 같아요.
혹시
젓갈도
젓갈 넣어야죠.
오.
예, 제가 계속 젓갈 이야기 했으니까 젓갈 넣어야죠.
그럼 혹시 팁 있어요? 꿀팁 있어요?
김장 안 하시니까
굴 넣어도 돼. 굴.
굴 먹어야죠. We talked about that before.
You gotta put-
보쌈이랑
No, you gotta.
굴 into the kimchi. 생각해 볼게요. 감사합니다. 근데 anyway, I will give that a try this weekend. We're coming up to the end of the show though, I think. So
That's
yeah,
right.
if you guys are doing kimjang this weekend, enjoy.
That's right. Good luck
네.
this weekend, and we will see you here back next week. But first, let's say one more time, big thank you to our 백수지 대표님. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
And it is time now for Dave to say.
네, 아쉽지만 오늘의 이번 주의 오매광주는 여기서 마무리하겠습니다.
But make sure you're tuning in from 12 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday right here on Ggn. That's 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in Yeosu.
And coming up next is the Music Lounge.
We hope you have a fantastic day, an amazing weekend. Good luck if you're doing 김장. We'll see you back here on Monday.
Yeah, we're going to finish up with one final track. This is B.O.B. featuring Bruno Mars with Nothing on You. 월, 화, 수, 목, 금.
오후 12시에서 2시까지
오매광주.
Beautiful girls all over the world.